Hola amigos! Today we're going to look at the past, the preterite tense. There are two types of past tense in Spanish. One is called the preterite and one is called the imperfect. So we're looking at the preterite tense today. So that basically means things that have happened in the past and they're done. So for example, yesterday I ate a sandwich, okay? It's happened, it's done. The imperfect tense is for things that you used to do in the past or things that happened over and over again. So for example, every day when I was younger, I ate a sandwich. Because it happened every single day, you would use the imperfect tense rather than the preterite if it just happened once. So yesterday, I ate a sandwich. So I'll be doing another video on the imperfect tense, but today we are looking at the past, the preterite tense, so the things that you used for when it's just happened like once, like yesterday or last week or last year, something like that. So there are some irregulars. We're looking at the regulars today. So regular, remember, means that the verbs follow the same patterns. So I'll cover the irregulars in another video. So to form the past tense, we take an infinitive. So remember, that is the form of the verb that ends in AR, ER or IR, and we conjugate it. So remember to look back at the first video in this verb series if you need a recap of what an infinitive is. So we're going to start with AR verbs. So we'll take a regular AR infinitive like comprar, okay, which means to buy. So to form the past tense, we take off the AR ending, so we're left with comp. Okay, remember that our first person to conjugate it for is yo, which is I. So for yo, we take off the AR ending and we add an E with an accent. So we've got compre. For to, which is you, take off the AR, so we're left with comp, and then we add aste. Okay? El, ella, so he or she. Comp, taking off the AR again, and then we add an O. Okay, it's really important we have that accent on the end, because if we don't have the accent on top of the O, then that means that it says compro, which actually means I buy in the present tense. So we do need that accent there. So the nosotros form, so that's we. We've got comp, and then this will look familiar, compramos. For the vosotros form, so that's you all, we've got comp astéis. And then for the they forms, remember ellos, ella, so they've talking about a group of boys, they've talking about a group of girls. We've got compraron. Okay, so those are your endings for regular AR verbs. So I'm going to write a few here for you to try. So I'd like you to conjugate estudiar in the yo form, okay, so I. For to, have go at cantar, that means to sing. For el and ella, bailar, that's to dance. Nosotros, hablar, to speak. For vosotros, have a go at this one, tomar el sol. So tomar on its own literally means to take. When we've got tomar el sol, that's to sunbathe, literally to take the sun. But that's the phrase that we always use for to sunbathe, and it's a useful one for holidays, so have a go at that for vosotros. Then the last one, cocinar, okay, so that means to cook. So pause the video, have a go at those, and I will go through the answers in a minute, or once you've unpaused. Okay, so for yo and estudi, so we take off the AR, just done, it becomes estudié. For to, for cantar in the past tense, so you sang, it would be cantaste. For bailar, so he or she danced in the past tense, bailó. Hablar, so we spoke, hablamos. For the one about sunbathing, so you all sunbathed, so maybe yesterday you went to the beach and you all sunbathed, it would be tomasteis, and then we'd add that also, so it was to sunbathe. And then for to cook, so they cooked, we would get rid of the AR and we would add R on. Okay, so that will work for regular AR verbs, and I've said this before in the other videos. If you're not sure which ones are regular AR verbs, then have a look on the internet. There's loads of lists out there, but all of those that we've just done, they're all regular ones. So this pattern will work for all regular AR verbs for the preterite tense. Okay, so we will have a look now at the ER verbs. So we'll take an ER verb, so we'll take there, that means to watch or to see, so like, you know, I'll watch a film. So for I watched a film, so yo, so we take off the ER, so this one looks a bit funny because you just left with a V, that's why I chose it, because sometimes you think, oh, is that right, we just left with a V, but it is. So the ending for yo is an I, and again with an accent on the top. For to, so you, take off the ER, so we just left with a V, and we've got viste. For L and Aya, left with a V, and then we've got vio. For nosotros, so we take off the ER, left with a V, then we add imos, so these are our endings. For vosotros, you all, take off the ER, so we're left with a V, and then it becomes visteis. So actually that ending looks a little bit similar to the AR endings. And then for eos and eas, we are left with just a V because we've taken off the ER, and it becomes vieron. Okay, so those are our endings. So have a go at the other ones. So for comer means to eat. So we would take off the ER, we're left with com, then we would add the I with an accent. So we've got comi. Okay, so have a go at beber for to, that means to drink. Vender for L and Aya, vender means to sell. Nacer for nosotros, nacer means to be born, so like I was born or we were born in whenever. Vosotros, have a go at aprender, so that means to learn. And then the last one, romper, that means to break. So have a go at those, take the endings off, add the other endings, just pause the video and then unpause it when you're done. So for beber in the to form, so you, we'd take off that ER and we'd add iste, so it becomes bebiste. Vender, to sell, take off the ER, we want to say he or she sold, so we would add EO. For nosotros, so we were born, take off that ER and we've got nacimos. Vosotros, so you, like you all learnt, take off the ER and we've got aprendisteis. And then for they broke, it would be rompieron. Okay, so those are your endings that will work for all regular ER verbs in the past tense. So the final ones we've got left are the IR verbs. So we'll get rid of that. So we'll take an IR verb, and we'll take partir. Okay, so that means like to leave, basically. So like if you're leaving somewhere. Okay, so same as before, we take off the IR ending, so we are left with part. So imagine it's for I, yo, and then the ending that we add is an I with an accent. So it's actually, these ones are the same as the ER endings. So I won't sort of talk you through them. I will just do these and you can see that they're the same. So that's quite useful, because once you know the endings for the ER verbs, then they're just the same for the IR verbs. Remember that in Spanish, we don't need to write the yo and the tu to let us know who's speaking, because these endings do it. So we don't need to say yo party, we can just say party. Okay, so then they left would be partieron. So have a go at these verbs yourself now. So for yo, so for I, have a go at salir. For tu, have a go at decidir, so that's to decide. Discutir, to discuss or to argue. Escribir, for nosotros, so that's to write, so we wrote. Recibir, so that's to receive, so have a go at that for you all, so that's to receive a present or something. And then vivir, to live, have a go at that for they. Pause the video, unpause it when you're done, and we'll have a look at the answers. Okay, so for yo, if we wanted to say, so salir means to go out, so if we wanted to say I went out, we would take off the IR, we would add the I with the accent. For you decided, take off the IR, add iste, decidiste. He or she argued or discussed, take off the IR and add io. For we wrote, take off the IR, add imos. You received, take off the IR, add isteis. And then they lived, take off the IR and add ieron. So those endings will work for any regular ER and IR verb in the past tense. So actually you only need to learn two sets of different endings. You need to learn the endings, these endings for the ER and the IR verbs, and the endings we looked at the start for the AR verbs. Okay, so hope you find that useful. There are some irregular verbs in the preterite tense which don't follow this pattern, so we'll look at those in the next video. Okay, adios!